Episode 1. Welcome. This is Midnight Saloon's Song Stories.
Song stories. We're going to talk about some songs, tell some stories about them.
With sitting here with Matt McQueen. This is Josh Brock. The first, what gave us the idea for this podcast was there's 22 songs on this Songwriter album that's coming out, and I always get irritated when songs come out that you want to know the meaning behind them, just the details of the song.
That makes me like a song more. I always love learning about, like, any documentary that I've ever watched about, such and such band made this record. It makes me enjoy listening to the record a lot more.
Well, yeah, and it puts a new, there's always something weird when somebody writes a song and then they tell the meaning of it because everybody takes it a different way. You could take it the same way that he wrote it or she wrote it, but like when you find out, this line, this is why I wrote this line, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. I was thinking of something completely different, but that makes sense.
Did you watch Sonic Highways?
Sonic Highways?
I loved that series. And it's along the lines of what we're talking about. It was a little bit of a rabbit trail here, but Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, they went to a different city for this entire record and then interviewed other local musicians, famous ones like Buddy Guy, for example, when they were in Chicago, I think, and went to a different studio every place, and they would just do these interviews, and then he would write lyrics and they would write a song, and they did a different song in all these major cities.
Oh, with Dave Grohl and the artist?
So
that they were meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes the artist would be on it, sometimes they wouldn't, but there would be references to the stories that the artist or the musicians told.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should watch it.
Projects like that are awesome. This particular project that is coming out is I've never released an album. Like I've had songs cut, that people have released, but I've never had like a full scope album, which this is going to be 3 vinyls of nothing but songs that I wrote. And the songs span from, God, they cover 21, 22 years of my life. Some of them we kind of nitpicked from 20 years ago that is this and that. And then, there's some newer ones that's on there, like the one we're going to discuss today, which is called Dear Son.
So this is the newest one, right?
That's going to be on the album?
Yeah. No, you've written another one.
No, there's one, at least one newer one.
Yeah. But of the collection, this is newer compared to some of the ones that were 21 years ago.
Oh, yeah. This song is, like some of them's, yeah, like I said, 20 years old. So this song's what? Not even 6 months old. The song title of what we're discussing today is Dear Son. It was wrote December 2022. I wrote the lyrics to it. Obviously, it's not obvious because you might not know what went on, but we've been working on this album. It's been a passion project, and my wife, we've been trying to get pregnant for like 6-7 years now. She gets pregnant. And obviously, we're in the throes of this album too, which is wrapping up. Well, she has Lincoln Woodrow Brock in October, and so it was kind of like, if I this might be the only time I get to release an album like this. If I don't have a song on it about my newly born son, then it is going to be just a missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where the kind of inspiration.
So did the words to this come together quickly? Was this a long process to write this? How did this?
This song started completely. It wasn't this at all. So, and at the end of every one of these shows, we're going to actually, play the song.
Yeah.
The initial. Anytime I try to write something and then I force myself to try to write it, it never comes out good.
Right.
And it's never something I ever cut or release or anything like that. So the initial song I was going to write was about, it started out talking about, it's called Bluebird. And it started out talking about watching a bluebird dance on the wind and thinking, it really just took a turn. And I really just couldn't, it wasn't hit. I got some good lyrics out of it, and I've got them wrote down somewhere, but it wasn't hitting. And that's what kind of, I was driving around one day and I started thinking about what like if you've got an infant son, what are the concerns or like the questions? Like all you think about is like, where are you going to be when you're like 25? Like, what are you going to be? Like, what are you going to be doing?
Oh yeah.
Who are you going to be successful? Or a name like Lincoln Woodrow, you're either going to be really good or really bad.
Right. Yeah.
So so that's why it's Dear Son. It's like it's a letter to your infant son, just questioning basically the future.
Yeah. So
anyway.
So the song turns into Dear Son. You get some killer lines in this though. I mean, I can remember. So Rye Davis is who we got to sing this song.
Yeah, you want to go over like the?
Yeah, let me just talk about this song's super simple compared to a bunch of the other songs on the record. I wanted to keep this one really, really understated, and I had almost nothing to do with the music on this one other than
Matt produced the album, by the way.
But Curtis, this is all Curtis's, all of the chords, the picking pattern, everything. And I can remember actually very specifically the day that he came up with this. I think I texted you about this. Curtis is singing on the demo version, and we were sitting in the control room. And before he even recorded anything, or actually it might have been while we were recording the demo, he had already been going over it, and I was just pretty much just yesing him the whole time. Like he was coming up with ideas, and I was like, yeah, that's great. Oh, that's killer. We should definitely use that. Like, I had no complaints about what he's coming up with. We started doing the demo, and I'm just sitting here at the console holding the lyrics like I am right now, just listening to him and just trying to be quiet and let him get the demo down so that we've got something to work off of. And I'm reading these lines. I got a son myself. He's 10 years old, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm just sitting there at the console like crying, and we get done. Curtis just stops, and he's just going, okay, what's next? And I'm just like, I don't want to turn around because we're trying to work, and I've just got tears streaming down my cheeks. So I was immediately attached to this song. We then had the task once the demo was done to pick the singer. It's a very simple song. It's just two guitars. It's really just one guitar through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But in the second chorus, we wanted it to feel a little different. And so Curtis came up with a second part that you can hear. Like if you listen to this song in headphones, you'll hear the main guitar in the middle, and then you'll hear the second guitar in the second chorus come in on the sides.
Yeah.
And it's only there for the second chorus, and then it goes away. And we did sort of this is kind of nerdy, we did sort of a fun little acoustic guitar miking thing where I used two microphones on it, and then I panned them both out as wide as you can pan them when I was mixing it.
Yeah.
So that when that second guitar comes in, and there's some reverb and some extra ambience on it, but when it comes in, it sounds like it's, on both sides of your headphones, and the other one sounds like it's right in the middle. So for those of you that are nerdy, like music, maybe you smoke a little pot, you definitely want to do that and then listen to that for that second guitar because it's really cool. So then we picked the singer, Rye Davis, superb performer, great entertainer, amazing voice. I love Rye's voice. And
he didn't disappoint.
He did not disappoint. He came in with a ton of his own ideas. He changed from the demo version, the way that Curtis sang it, to the way that Rye sang it. It definitely went to that next level. It just got better. It feels like, Rye made it feel like it was his song. He really took it on.
So Rye did an important thing and I try to explain too when I write this and I give it to somebody when they come into the studio or they're going to the studio to cut it, is like, you have got to make that song like yours. It is not going to work if you're just going in there to sing a song like you're singing along with something, or you're trying to copy the demo like Curtis did or something like that. I was like, you have got to put your own twist on it. We got you for a reason. Whatever artist we pick, like we got you for a specific reason, and you've got to bring that reason out and make the song your own. And
Rye made it a point to say that he really wanted to. We spent a lot of time working on tweaking the lines to feel like it was something that he would sing, And I think that honestly, I think that helps make the lyrics as you're listening to them be sung more believable, And so I really felt like he did a great job connecting with the song, and that's it. That's all that there is on this song. It's literally just an acoustic guitar and Rye's voice.
Well,
he talked about some of the lines, even like he was like, so Josh, like I don't want to paint a picture like he was in complete disbelief, but he was like, Josh wrote all this, and I was like, yeah, these are all Josh's lyrics.
Well, I surprised a lot of people
Yeah.
They see me, and then they don't realize that I can read and write, and I blow them away.
They don't realize I can read
Yeah,
and
they
write.
see my mustache and my cowboy hat, and I don't know. I can put two lines together sometimes.
So,
but Rye, let me throw this out there. So you know how Rye got into it and loved the song and all this. We didn't realize this until Rye came to Austin City Saloon and played a month ago. He just had a son born in October on the same day Lincoln was born.
really,
They share a birthday.
that's amazing.
And we did not know that. And here he is cutting a song about basically, I mean, he's singing about his son, That's why he could do that.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job on it. You couldn't have done any better.
So I just wanted to point out just one. I could pick probably more, but I think my favorite line from the song is the closing line of the chorus, or closing two lines, I guess. But I just really like, keep your nose on the grindstone, keep your wheels on the tracks. Wherever this world takes you, will always take you back. If you're a parent hearing that lyric, oh my God, like that's
it
hits hard.
Well, it hits hard, and I think it covers. And we're going to go through the lyrics here in just a minute, but I think that covers all the bases. That's work hard. Don't veer away from the right path. And as a parent, a new parent, whatever. And I didn't understand this until you have a kid, I guess. Which my kid's only 8 months old, but as soon as he's there, you realize it. It's like no matter what happens in life, you can always come back. You know what I mean? You can always, the door's always open, whether how successful, how unsuccessful, however you screw up, we're here. So that I think that just those two lines encompass a lot. But we'll get into the lyrics because we'll from every one of these we're going to pretty much go lyric for lyric. I mean, obviously some of them's obvious that we're going to skip over.
See, I knew that, and I got the cart ahead of the horse because I was thinking about my son, and I just wanted to talk about those two lines. But
I think that's perfectly fine. See, that's two lines we don't have to go over because you
Okay.
You jumped it and you ruined it for everybody.
So you're going to kick this off with the lyrics? You're going to start walking us through this?
Well, we're just going to go, and like I said, the song will be on after. I'm not going to read through all the lyrics then go over it. I'm just going to go, line by line. So title, Dear Son, basically the letter to your infant son. Starts out, who are you going to be and what are you going to see? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, you're questioning your child growing up and you have no clue where that kid is going to be in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. What are you going to see? When I wrote that, I was thinking it's 2023. If my kid makes it 80 years, he's going to see what creations or what devastation or what just majestic things are going to be out there that he's going to see that you're not going to get to.
Like the invention of the Terminator.
He's going to see.
He's going to see that
Arnold
for sure. Because of the way. Anyways.
Well, I mean, like right now we're in.
There are going to be crazy things.
We are in the throes of Tom Hanks signing over his image rights so he can still be in movies after he passes away, and his family gets the royalties from it. So is my son, when he's 70, still going to be watching new Tom Hanks movies? Think about that.
Sleepless in Seattle, Part 42.
Let's next line. Which that leads into the how many years are you going to go by that you're not there with me? A lot of people, I feel like, think that line is like when your kid turns 18 and goes to college, and so you all are not together. What that line really is talking about is how many years are you going to live beyond me? Like, so,
yeah.
Like if I died tomorrow and you get your 80 years, like, are you going to have 80 years that I'm not going to be around or get to be there to see what you're becoming? And that breaks my heart to think about. Me and my wife talked about that the other night. Like, just
how do you come up with a line like that? I mean, I'm not a songwriter, so this is hearing somebody talk about that. Like, I do feel like that's maybe a thought that I might have in passing, but I don't think I I don't think I would dwell on it long enough to be like, that's definitely a line that I want to write down. So,
Oh, you just, you think about that thought, and then how can you write it? What's a pretty way to
say this thought
to
that I just
say
had.
that? Like, how many years you're gonna go by? And like I said, it plays both ways, because if when he leaves the nest and he's not around, he creates his own family. But the main purpose of that, like I said, was me passing away. How many years is he going to live beyond my passing, and what's he going to accomplish that I won't get to see?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And that's, will teardrops lead to rivers, or will laughter take the pain? The reason I wrote that is you're dealing with two sides, which is, will teardrops lead to rivers, which is he going to have a rough life and a lot of heartbreak in his life? Like, is there going to be so many tears that it's rivers for your entire time? Like, I don't want that, but is that, like, I'm questioning it. And then it goes, or will laughter take the pain? Everybody's going to have some pain in their life, but is there going to be enough laughter just to get rid of all the pain? Because you're going to have a good life and you're going to enjoy life and all that. So that's that line. And then it turns back to first person, me writing it. And, did I live a life worth living? Is there pride in your Father's name? So I'm asking him, like, when I'm gone, are you going to be proud of me? I think that's pretty self evident. I hope it goes into the chorus. I hope you find a love like I found in your mama.
Rye changed the way that he delivered that line a little bit, right?
Rye changed it, and I like the change. He twisted it to where it was, I hope you find love like I love your mama. It changed, and I think it flows better. I hope you find love like I found in your mama. I think that little word or word or two added in there made that better. Basically, me and his mother, Olivia, love each other very much, and we're going to be a great example for him to live by, and I hope he sees that, and I hope he can replicate that when he finds, whoever he's going to love. So that's why that line's there. There's never anybody below or above you. I think that line's pretty self-explanatory. You treat everybody equal. You give people respect, they give you respect. Don't don't spit on people. Don't get spit on.
Right.
Boom. There you go. And then your lines that we already discussed: keep your nose to the grindstone, keep your wheels on the tracks. Wherever this world takes you will always take you back. We've discussed that.
Yeah.
It wraps everything
great.
up. Boom.
I love those lines.
Where are we going? Second verse?
Yeah, second verse.
So the second verse: will you hold on to this world until all the spinning is done? And I wrote that because the next verse coming up. So what that verse is talking about is, like, are you just going to be a person that you're just going with it? You're just going with the flow. You're just hanging on, just getting through life. The world's spinning. You're just there with it.
Yeah.
So then you go, or could you be the fire that reignites a sun? I mean, I think that's a pretty powerful statement. You imagine literally a sun burning out, and you're the spark that brings it back to life. Are you going to do something great? Everybody wants their kids to do something great. And I think if you, and that great could be having a family of your own and raising them right to become something, So, I mean, that's greatness in any sense of the word. If you have a kid, you take care of the kid, teach it to read and teach it the right things. That's being great. You don't have to be president. You don't have to run an army. You don't have to do all that stuff. You just got to be honestly a decent human being and do what you're supposed to do, and you've had a great life.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from, Then it goes to, will it take a few wrong turns to make the wheels turn right? Typically it does.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to screw up.
Everybody does. Yeah.
Yeah. How many wrong turns is it going to take? Or is the path straight and narrow, you'll travel all your life? It could be.
More of that same idea, yeah.
Yeah, you could be a straight A student from kindergarten on, and just everything fall in your lap. Let's see, then it repeats chorus, discussed it. All right, this the last verse.
Yeah, this first line is really interesting to me. I'm definitely curious to see what you were thinking when you wrote that.
This was my wife gets all the credit for this one. So So the line is, your eyes hold a sea storm that could change the lives of men. Okay. First off, the sea storm, it is specific to my son. Like, my son has very blue eyes. And one day we were sitting around and they kind of change. And my wife is like looking at me and she's like, look at Lincoln's eyes. It looks like a sea storm. And I was like, oh, you devil woman. Yeah. So I got in my phone and I jotted that down real quick. I was like, that's one of those things. It's like, man, I want to use that. Like, I've got to find a way to use that.
That's cool. Does she remember saying that too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, once she heard it, she's like, I did that. I was like, yeah, well, you're not getting credit for it. But
this ain't Nashville.
Yeah. Word's not a third here, woman. But yeah, your eyes hold a sea storm that could change the lives of men. I mean, when you look into somebody's eyes, or somebody that's got a different color eye, or somebody that's got an intense look, I mean, you can look in somebody's eyes and they could it tells you a story. And so I just feel like my son's got those eyes. Everybody might feel like their kid's got those eyes.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what that is. And then it goes into when the mirrors, the next line to that is, and when the mirror starts to doubt you, sail against the wind. A large part of that, it fits good here in the sense that, if you have doubts upon yourself, if you're looking in the mirror and you doubt yourself, you need to go against that and get your confidence and, and the reason the sail against the wind fits so good in there is because you mentioned the sea storm. Obviously that kind of hits together, but
yeah, I like that.
That is the meaning I think that it's in the song for. The reason I wrote that line was, you look in the mirror, like, I'm 42, having a child, just having my first child, and I look in the mirror and I'm starting to see that you're getting older.
Yeah.
And so that's where I put that in there, as kind of, for me, is like when the mirror starts to doubt you, sail against the wind. So I know that I'm getting older, but I've got an 8-month-old that, I need to stay young for.
That's cool. So it's kind of a line for you and for Lincoln.
Yes, it worked both ways. A double entendre.
Yeah,
is that what that is?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I don't know. Else.
We're going to use that though. Yeah, that could be completely horrible. Age will give you wisdom, son. The truth always sets us free. I think that's another one of those obvious, the more you live, the more you know.
For sure.
Truth always sets us free. I'm a very truthful person, and I don't live with any kind of guilt about holding a lie in. Yeah. I may hurt somebody's feelings saying something or whatnot, but I hope a lot of people think I'm a dick too. Somewhat because of it, but the fact of the matter is, I have no guilt about, like, I'm not lying to anybody. I'm not trying to hide nothing, and I feel good about that. Hope he does too. Then that's the next line. Don't be the man that lies way down and buckles at the knees. If you're carrying a ton of guilt and a ton of, like, I know I'm lying to people on your back, then it'll follow you around forever. And then it goes into that final chorus, and actually, the chorus, the first line changes back to, instead of, I hope you find love like I found in your mama, it goes, I hope you find love like I love your mama. And I think that you made that change, and I think that really hits home.
I was kind of Ryan and I together. I mean, he was,
okay.
We because didn't we call you to ask if you cared if we made the first lyric change on the first two choruses? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. And then he had sung it one time, and I just really liked it, and so I wanted to have it be
in there.
I wanted it to be in there.
Well, that was I think it was a good change, and I think it hits a little bit,
It definitely makes that last chorus hit a little different, yeah.
But listen, that wraps up the first episode, I think, right?
Yeah. So what you gonna do now? Play the song? Is that it? Play the song, close it out?
I think, listen, we hope you enjoyed it. We went in depth on a lot of stuff, especially the lyrics, and we'll have a bunch more songs to come on Midnight Saloon's Song Stories. So without further ado, we give you the song.
Here's Dear Son.
Dear Son. There you go.
Who are you gonna be What are you gonna see? And how many years would go by that you're not there with me? Will teardrops lead to rivers, or will laughter take the pain? Did I live a life worth living? Is there pride in your father's name? Well, I hope you find a love like I found in your mama. There's never anybody below or above you. Keep your nose on the grindstone, keep your wheels on the tracks. Wherever this world takes you, we'll always take you back. Will you hold on to this world until all the spinning is done? Or will you be a fire that reignites the sun? Will it take a few wrong turns to make the wheels turn right? Or is the path straight and narrow you'll travel all your life? Well, I hope you find a love like I found in your mama. And there's never anybody ever below or above you. Keep your nose on the grindstone, keep your wheels on the tracks. And wherever this world takes you, we'll always take you back. Your eyes hold a sea storm that could change the lives of men. And when the mirror starts to doubt you, sail against the wind. Age will give you wisdom, son. The truth always sets us free. Don't be the man that lies way down and buckles at the knees. Well, I hope you find a love like I love your mama. And there's never anybody ever below or above you. Keep your nose on the grindstone and keep your wheels on the tracks. Wherever this world takes you, we'll always take you back.